going on, you beautiful people? It is Trelly here. We are back finally with a Smite 2 way too early tier list. I'm going to warn you now, we are streaming. This was a goal for my save and shave over on Twitch, meaning people really wanted to see this. So there you go. This is your reward. Have fun. This tier list is way too early. Number one, because matchmaking has been in a bit of a questionable state. I think everyone is going to have different opinions about this. And number two, because we just don't have all the data, right? I don't even think I've seen, you know, all of these characters. I know I have, but like I haven't seen that much of all these characters. So you need a little bit more time before everything is correct. I've seen Incom make a tier list and Inbound. I have not seen either of their tiers. So this could be very different from them. But I'm going to go in blind and just tell you what I think. So we're going to work backwards here. Anhur. As far as I'm concerned, by the way, S tier is like top pick, top ban, or first pick material. A is like always going to be very strong, not really have any bad matchups. That's really what we're looking for here for A. D is unclickable. Do not play this character. C is not great. And B is pretty par for the course, average, but leaning more towards good. All right. C is average, leaning more towards bad. You get the vibes. Anhur is going to be there for me. Probably the second best true hunter that is in this game. I will say there are no real classes, so he can fit a few different roles. But yeah, if I'm playing Anhur, I'm calling him A for sure. Next up is Anubis. This one's tough for me because he is probably the mid laner that I have played the least. Not true. Cuckoo is the one I've played the least. Anubis is second. I think he's probably top of B, like B plus, very close to A. He does crazy amounts of damage, takes a bit to get online. There's no real like Bancroft's talent equivalent of an item. Typhon's feels really bad to build. It's just 40% lifesteal, and that gives you no other stats but the lifesteal. So that's not great. I think his build path is just a bit awkward. Once you get like Bloodbound Book, Rod, and like Book of Thoth, he can cook, but he does kind of get owned early game. Keep that in mind, I guess. Ares, incredibly strong. Tanks feel great right now. I'm going to put him A tier, very close to S. The only thing that's holding him back from this S, because at the moment, active items are very prominent. You may have seen 1,000 Amanita Charms in your games, but the Purification one that gives squad-wide beads is ridiculous into Ares, right? Even if you see like a Neith who went blink, you're like, oh, I can pull them every single time with my ult. Not necessarily the case. I have been casting the competitive Smite 2 tournaments, and Ares is picked for lane pressure, not so much for the ult, right? He does crazy damage. His chains still own. That all hasn't changed. It's really just the fact that you don't even need to get beads anymore into Ares, because if you're allowing with your support, who is getting the squad-wide beads, you're chilling. If you don't have that support, things are a bit different. Also, Ares usually wants to get Sunder, so he can't get Blink. Keep that in mind as well. If you have the ability to get both, maybe things are different, but in comp, in high level ranked, if your support isn't getting Sunder, you're pretty much giving up early pressure, or you're just losing lane entirely. So that hurts him a bit as well, but his damage is ridiculous. His squad, his team fight is great. It's just the fact that the ult doesn't get like immense value. Athena, this is tough for me. I have to assume she's close here. Her damage does not rival that of Ares when she goes tank. When she goes damage, that's different. Like if we're talking jungle Athena, that's a bit different. I think supports can be played to any level of gameplay. I think she's right here. I'm going to give her B plus, just like Anubis. Like very easily could be A. Abyssal Stone's a great point. A great shout. Also, I've got chat here. Sorry if you guys are getting cut off a bit. You are right. You don't need Blink if you get the Abyssal Stone, if you get the Boar item. There's a lot of tech that can be used. But yeah, I think Athena is very close to A for me, but going to be sitting down in B. Bacchus is the obvious S tier. If you have not seen gameplay of Bacchus recently, he has essentially a poly shot on his one that scales off of protections as opposed to intelligence or damage that you would think of from Smite 1. So what a lot of people are doing are going like Mystical Mail, Shifter Shield, Triton's Conch, a Conduit Gem Starter, even a Warrior's Axe, or a Bluestone, any option. And then just maxing 2-1 and just chunking. Belly flop, drink, bonk. You solo just about any carry on the map. You can get your belly flop early and invade buffs with Sunder. You own solo lane. You own support. You can even own in jungle. So yeah, Bacchus is one of the must-ban characters, along with one other, which if you've been playing, you probably know. But we'll continue as we go down. Bellona is interesting for me, man. I have not. This is one of the least played characters that I have seen. I'm sure she's great. I'm sure she's fine. I'm sure she's okay. I reasonably can't put her higher than B, and I don't even know if I want to put her B because no one is playing Bellona. As far as I'm concerned, solo lane is Bacchus, Susano, Hades, Chaac, Odin, Mordred. Sometimes full damage soul. Like, that's solo lane for me. You guys may be seeing something different. I do not see Bellona. I just don't think the whole auto attack thing is that great right now. You'd rather be a Bacchus who can chunk you down and has movement and doesn't need an ult to get in and get out. Back when the item, I can't think of what the item was called, something like Meteor Charm, Meteor something. But that item that Bellona used to go in one of the older alphas that gave her auto attack damage based on her prots, she was pretty strong then. It looked like Dominance back in the day, but now Meteor Hammer. Thank you, DC. Yeah, Meteor Hammer was the item. That was her item. No longer the case. I'm putting her C. Trust me, she could be much better. I'm just not seeing it. Cern is interesting because I feel like everyone that I see is playing Cern wrong. Like I said, I just casted a tournament over the weekend. And a lot of the high-level comp players were playing full intelligence Cern. I'm not talking one item. I'm talking Transcendence, Book of Thoth, and then like Cosmic Horror, Ratatouille, Soul Reaver, like full int. And the reason is his auto attacks can hit with intelligence damage. His 2 and his ult all scale off of int, and he's just full chunking. Like, the auto still hurt, but his abilities also chunk. I'm gonna give him A. I imagine he's right there in that echelon. Haven't seen too much of this gameplay and my games in particular, but in the comp scene, yeah, Cern is definitely getting play. So maybe people just haven't figured him out. They want to build him full crit. That's okay. It still works, but he has so much extra viability there. Chaac to me is a quintessential, just great pickup here. Not quite S. Again, there's only going to be like 2 or 3 gods in S as far as I'm concerned. Chaac is right there, though. No one's banning Chaac, but everyone's picking Chaac. He's solid. You can blink in the middle of his ult. His heal's still great. He does a lot of damage if you build him jungle. He does a lot of damage if you build him solo. Not quite Bacchus level of one-shot, but, you know, if he gets cooking, he's fine. And he's also really difficult to kill. He's one of those characters that doesn't need blink, which helps. But if you get blink, his movement is off the chart. So, yeah, I'm putting Chaac A. Again, just I've seen a lot of Chaac. Fenrir. This is someone that I'm taking chat's word for it, okay? I'm taking your guys' word for it because I don't see Fenrir at all. If I see a jungler, he is almost certainly Thanatos, Susano, or Loki. That's it. Like, those are the only junglers I see. But everyone's saying Fenrir is the truth. So I'm going to give him A tier. The Dev Gauntlets build that I went recently on my channel with Thanatos works just fine on Fenrir. Tons of damage, of course, but he falls off with the ultimate. You can blink with someone in your mouth, which helps out a ton. You just have to focus on the people that don't have beads, of course, and, you know, try and go for your damage. Honestly, I want to put him B. I really want to put him B. I'll give him A-. Just, it's close, okay, for me. Maybe he's much better than I think, but I'll give him A-. He's very close to B. Next up is Hades. Used to be guaranteed A, almost S tier. Hades has fallen off dramatically because there's a lot of characters that you may not think can counter him that actually do. Odin, Kukulkan, for example, characters that shouldn't be able to get out of his ult have vortex immunities. That means his ult actually doesn't do as well. Like, I thought Odin into Hades would be a terrible solo lane matchup, but it turns out Odin kind of just owns Hades. Like, even if he silences you out of the 3, it doesn't matter. The ult doesn't really do much. So yeah, this is tough for me. I haven't seen that much Hades anymore. If you have like double physical damage, Hades is great in solo. I'm gonna give him B. He has so much mobility and damage, but I don't know, man. He's just not doing it for me anymore. 2 alphas ago, he was broken, the best character by far. Not so much anymore. I'm giving him B, close to A though. Hecate. This is the sleeper pickup for me where I absolutely love this character. I've went on record to say she is the most fun Smite god I've ever played. Not Smite 2, Smite god. Her kit is insane. But a lot of people value her very low, like C, maybe even D tier. Here's all I'll say, right? Paul, arguably one of the best players that ever touch Smite in general values this character very highly, maybe a little bit below Neith, at least from what we saw in that tournament from last weekend, because he knows everything about this character. You know, he knows how to play her, he knows how to use the ult, he knows how to use the shield. To me, it seems like a lot of people don't quite understand the ult tech, being able to use it in, being able to teleport your teammates out, being able to just, oh, you're diving me and I need to like beads and Ares ult. Nah, I'm just going to use my ult and then teleport out because I have that damage immunity. With that being said, I don't think I can quite put her A. I really want to, and honestly, she's so fun and deserves A, but her lack of mobility and CC immunity still does hurt. Like, she can get dove pretty easily, which sucks, but I think she could very easily be here. It's tough, man. It's tough. She's so fun, though. Seriously, try her out if you haven't played her already. You might not regret it. Jing Wei, obviously going to be the next S tier. This one's a no-brainer. If you haven't seen the changes to Jing Wei, her ult can be fired twice. She can go forward and then back, all in the air, all damage immune. That's not really what we're talking about here. Her second ability, where she stockpiles some crits and then she walks around and she goes pew, 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 and then she can do it again. She can stack, at least for right now. So you can press your 2, wait for the cooldown, auto attack, press your 2 again, and you just get those big crit AoE auto attacks, which pretty much guarantee that you one-shot just about anyone. That's the reason that you're seeing her banned in every single ranked game you've played, and both of these characters are almost certainly getting nerfed, so I hope you won't continue to see all of them, but yeah, I haven't gotten to see too much of either of them because they're banned so often. Bacchus slips through a little bit more, but still. Next up is Kuku. I don't get it, man. I don't get the hype about Kuku. I think he is like aggressively average. The Transcendence Book of Thoth poly build absolutely slaps, but it takes so long to get there. And his ult is same old, where it is so easy to juke. You could see Kuku ult and go, I'm going to move. Like you could juke this so easily. Late game, of course, with CC, he does a ridiculous amount of damage. I don't know, man. I don't want to give him A. I really don't. I'm going to leave him B. I would honestly put him C if all of you guys weren't telling me how good he was. So I don't like how mid-tier this tier list is looking, but listen to my explanation. Don't just listen to my placements, okay? Loki, easy A tier for me. I think he is so strong. A lot of people don't like him as much as Thanatos or Susano. I'm not feeling that vibe, man. The reset on his 1 makes him ridiculous if you know how to pilot him. Does lose some early boxing trades in the jungle for sure. But, like, you're going to be just fine, right? Your late game is ridiculous. If you're able to get to the back line, get a reset, you can just chain it together so well. I really don't like how, like, A and B heavy this tier list is, but, I mean, I told you there were some A pluses, A minuses that I'm not going to add because it doesn't really matter. It's still such early days. I'm going to leave Loki here. Mordred. Honestly, maybe the second most fun character I've played, but he has the fall off, man. This was like day 1, day 2, Mordred felt S tier. The ult felt broken. It comes from across the map. It goes through walls. Nowadays, everyone knows what it sounds like. Everyone can look at a Mordred and go, whoop, and just slide out of the way. And then your engage gets a little worse. When you get ahead over in solo lane, you can just go to mid lane, own the mid laner, rotate the gold fairy, make big difference for your team. But when people know you're coming, if you try to build damage at all, he has a very big fall off. So I think Mordred's B tier, still incredibly fun. I love both these characters, but I think they might need a little bit extra. I could be capping. Again, solo lane is where you want to play him. Jungle, he cannot compare to these guys damage-wise. If you both go full damage, it's just not going to happen. But you can snowball a bit. You know, you really do want to build him a bit tanky, and that is more fun. Neith. Neith's tough because if her backflip worked the way that old backflip worked, she's easy S tier, no question about it. But her backflip, she's not damage immune. She's not untargetable. It goes over walls, which is cool, but it gets interrupted so much. I'm going to put her A. She's so close to S tier. If her backflip worked as you picture it in your head from Smite 1, easy S tier, best mid lane in the game, bar none. But her escape almost isn't an escape whenever Susano is nearby, whenever, like, you know, there's just so many abilities that can catch her out of her backflip. And I'm not even sure if that's going to continue. I hope that it gets, like, changed because I don't like it. It doesn't make me feel good getting ripped out of the air. But trust me, it happens, like, way too much. Thana, I'm getting there, buddy. Cool it. Odin, I mean, definitely easy A tier for me. Pretty similar to Chaac. Again, you're going to see a lot of A, B. Everyone just feels pretty okay. Like, I could do something like... No, I'm not. We're going to leave it like this. Love me some Odin. He's all right, though. You know, he's going to be suifying in lanes. He's going to give you good rotations, all that stuff. Sol, pretty easy A tier for me. You can build her full crit. You can build her full intelligence. She has survivability. She has early pressure. She has late game shred. She has late game burst. Honestly, she might be S. Probably not, though. We'll give her A. I don't want to give S to the characters that don't get banned too often. She's very close, though. Like, I'll give her, like... If we're doing this as, like, the top tier of A tier, like, you know... I'm not going to do it all, but she's very close to S tier. In my opinion, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Sol's dog, but it seems like when she gets the crits rolling or when she goes full intelligence, she absolutely chunks. Yeah, keep that in mind. Susano, obviously, all of these assassins, these junglers are going to be right here, very close to S, but not quite. Maybe even S. Again, he gets banned. He could fulfill what I'm talking about. But I really only wanted to give these two the S tier spot just because it feels way more deserved. If there was an A+, Susano would be there, I think. There's an argument for a lot of characters, but we're going to leave him here just because I don't see him banned as much as these two. These two feel genuinely broken to me, whereas I have found answers to every other character on this list. Thanatos, I'm just going to bring him to A as well. I've heard people say he's not that great. I don't get it. I don't see... the issue. You can kind of just build full damage and lifesteal, and as long as you're hitting, like, you have infinite sustain, your farm is ridiculous, and as long as you're hitting your scythe, you're kind of chilling, man. I really don't get what would put him near, like, these characters, so I'm gonna leave him A. Maybe he's worse than I see. I get the fact that his 1 doesn't do as much as it used to early game, but besides that, man, chilling. The Morrigan. Yeah, Morrigan, if you ult, she can, like, heal. Her mid-game presence is great. You can build crit on her and absolutely shred. I'm definitely not going to give her S. But the Morrigan's in a pretty good spot right now, and she took some bans in the comp tournament. She took some bans in my ranked games. I don't see her played very often, but when you get someone that knows what they're doing on her, very annoying. Also, something to note, if she ults into you, she can steal your relic. So she doesn't have to get blink or beads or Aegis. She can just ult into someone that has those, and then she can get whatever selfish relic she wants, usually a beads or an Aegis. So definitely a fun time. I guess keep that in mind. Zeus, I love Zeus, man. I'm putting him A. I'm not going to give him B. I think it's tough because if you there's so much tech with Zeus that can put him above other mid laners. Like, for example, as it stands right now, if you get 3 charges on someone and detonate, they stun, right? But if you have Staff of Mirrodin and you get 3 charges on someone, you can double charge, double stun, and double 3 stack them. You don't have to reapply your charges. You get 3 charges, you snap, and then you just do it again, like, for the hell of it. You can do 1,000 into 800 damage like it's nothing. You can also go Dreamer's Idol and get Big O mode and do even more damage. His AoE's insane. Of course, he gets eaten alive by things like Susano, Fenrir, Loki, Thanatos, Odin, Bacchus. Of course, that's going to happen. That's going to happen with any mid laner. But Zeus is one of the mid laners that actually has the damage to keep you away. And plus, he comes baked with hard CC, movement speed, etc. So I'm going to give him A. He's just really strong. Ymir, I really want to put Ymir S. But no one has the respect for Ymir yet, man. I want him to be S. I really do. I think he is, I think he's very strong. But no one has given him the respect yet. So I'm going to put him tippy top of A. Best A god for me. And I think he's being slept on in the jungle. I think he outboxes every single one of these junglers at level 2, level 3, level 4, and especially level 5. Like, honestly, you walk up to a Ymir with Dev Gauntlets and Hydras, you are absolutely owning them. Like, it's not even close. But I haven't seen the gameplay to back it up, man. I haven't. Everyone's saying S in chat, but I have not seen enough people playing Ymir to give him S. All right, whatever. You're all saying S. There you go. I got bullied into it. Okay, so if you fast forward until the end of the YouTube video, I got bullied into putting Ymir S tier. I do truthfully think that he's A, but again, if you fast forward to the end just to see the big picture, go in, look at the timestamps, look at what I said about each character as opposed to just where they are placed, because I think there's conversation to be had about all of them. Putting Bellona as the worst god in Smite 2 seems rough, but if we're going off of characters that I have seen played, Bellona is by far the bottom tier. So yeah, that's my tier list. It's subject to change. There's going to be some buffs and nerfs coming. I hope you all agreed. Yeah, if you enjoyed, definitely leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, helps me out a ton. Until next time, guys, peace.